We all good? Okay, let's call the order of the Estacada Traffic and Public Safety Committee and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Allegiance to the flag. United States of America. Well, stands one nation, under God. Thank you. Could I get a roll call, please, Lena?
Commissioner Burke, Commissioner Sutz,
Here.
Commissioner Dobbs,
Here.
Commissioner Foster,
Here.
Commissioner Olson, here, Chair Moriarty.
Here. Thank you. All right, so moving on to community comments. Do we have anyone online? No? Okay. Moving forward, everyone had a chance to review the consent agenda from April 15th. Can I get a motion to approve the April 15 consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Okay, I have a first. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a second. All in favor of approving consent agenda, say aye.
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 Aye. All right, thank you. Moving on. All right, Chief Mendoza is here. Welcome.
Thank you. How about just a quick report update? This summer, our SRO, who's our school resource officer, will be obviously school won't be in session, and so he's going to be moved to patrol and helping out our patrol deputies. He's adjusting his days, which helps us with some coverage, which will be nice. So we'll see an extra presence around Estacada during the summer. And then we did have some complications with some staffing. We had a few people that haven't made it through our training process. And so that new deputy that we're expecting here in Estacada is going to get pushed back until September, which is where the next schedule starts. I had a discussion with the city manager about that it's more prudent to wait until the schedule in September for that to begin instead of, we could have probably brought somebody a little bit sooner, but we would have seen someone come to the city for a month or two and then leave and then have a new person. So I like the idea of having that continuity of just bringing somebody in September. So we're still moving ahead with a new deputy, but it'll be September.
Excellent.
Yep.
Excellent.
And that's all I have for you right
Anyone
now.
have anything for Chief Mendoza? Oh, I watched the last meeting just for housekeeping, and I just want to make sure that we all get through and get us and Elena out of here in a good time. If you do have a question, can you just please raise your hand like council, and we can just move forward and do it quickly. Carrie, go ahead.
Was the investigating still going on the incident on Surface Road? It was about 3 weeks to a month ago.
Oh, can you tell me a little bit more?
It was involved my neighbor, and his car was T-boned at an angle as you go up Surface Road right off 224. And he was kind of shoved over. The guy was trying to shove him over the bank. I didn't know if that was a resolve or.
I'll look into that one. I'm guessing that with that time frame, it's probably resolved by now, but I'll get a conclusion for you and bring that.
I spoke with him the other day, and he said he hadn't heard anything about anything. But anyway, his insurance kicked in and everything like that. So
Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
okay, thank you, sir.
I think it was a white SUV with an Oklahoma plate. So it kind of stands out in
Okay.
Estacada. And I think they responded, and then Carrie's neighbors had been talking to him, and he revved his engine a little bit, and that was the
He was
result of, he
Pushing
just
him.
tried to get out, and the neighbor came out, and it was just a boom. So everybody came.
Oh, gotcha.
So it was
There
a big
was-
response, which was
Okay.
good.
Huge in like 1 minute.
Oh.
I'm not kidding. The response was wham, everybody was there.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because we've been working on that
That-
response time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It was real. It
Good.
was very real.
Anyone else? I just have one on the, we weren't in town for the, something up at Ladie Flats with a suspect with the firearm,
Yes.
because he had the same amount of response from what I understand. People are in town and seeing 9 vehicles with lights on going up through town. So
Yes, sir. That was a large response to that. Yeah.
excellent.
Mhm.
And all the deputies are good.
Deputies are fine. I think that there were some injuries, but no loss of
Okay.
life on that, and that's under investigation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Chief.
Mhm.
The last thing I wanted to say, because I had gone to a American Legion event in Salem, and someone had brought up speeding on Main Street up top, like right when you cross the hill. And he just was just like, it doesn't matter what day of the week it is. I'm at work, I'm at home. He has several businesses, he has motorcycles. He goes, every time I go wax my car, he says, "Meow." And his concern is the school,
Mhm.
because the school's, a block from his house. So I just wanted to let you know about that.
Sure.
It's just a real concern. The neighbors right there near the acupuncture and between that and the elementary school.
Yeah, I think definitely the school zones are one of our top priorities for
Right.
traffic concerns. And as, I mean, obviously the children are going to school there. That is something deputies watch regularly. And in fact, one of the deputies was out there on a traffic detail, which just means he's watching the area, and I'd noticed it and messaged him. This was just, I think, the week before last, and said, "Hey, I appreciate you being out there, and this is that's what we're looking for. Just some, be proactive, be out there, be seen, and try to slow people down." That's one area that we could also look at.
Okay.
Maybe a speed feedback sign, or just to get the data
Right.
from what those speeds actually are in those areas.
And I'm not saying they're not out there, because I see them all the time over on Broadway by the church on Second. So when you do make a complete stop and you look left, they were sitting right there.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
they're there.
Mhm.
So it's good to see.
Thank you.
All right. Excellent. Anyone have a chance to look at the fire chief's report? I didn't see anything in there that stuck out. Anyone? No? Okay. All right. And National Night Out Partnership with EDC. I see John on the big screen.
Yep, John's
There he
here
is.
to talk to you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Chair, and thank you, Commission, for being here tonight. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you about this opportunity. Recently, the Economic Development Commission has been formed with the City of Estacada. We have a good group of business folks, some that are located in the industrial park, like Northwest Technologies, and other members there. And we have, CLT, the manufacturing solder timber, getting ready to open up out there too. But one of the challenges that we've been trying to work on is having 2 events this year, and one in the industrial park, but really trying to connect the industrial park with the residents in the city. So, really trying to make that stronger connection so folks that live in Estacada really understand what are some of the careers and jobs and opportunities out there. And we were discussing that at the EDC, and looking at having our event over the summer here. And one of the things that we came up with, like, well, geez, wouldn't it be great if we could do work with you folks and do the National Night Out at the same time, and have an open house with the businesses that wanted to participate. It'd be a great opportunity for folks to learn about some of the additional machinery equipment, and also to be at the same time, learning about police and fire and the Forest Service and other. So we wanted to approach this to see if there was opportunity that we could partner and host that in collaboration, have that maybe in the industrial park this year.
What does everyone think? It's definitely room there on the, I mean, I put in for the permit over here, but I'm sure that, We can shred that, John. It shouldn't be a problem. But do you have a spot or?
I
know.
think, we could definitely, I could take it back to the EDC
Okay.
members and we could do some outreach to the businesses within the park. And I'm sure I imagine there'll probably be, 5 to 10 businesses that would love to open up, display, what they do and opportunities. So I think we could really have some stations around there. I know, Ryan Carpenter, the chair, he was interested even, maybe getting the jazz band down there and just making it, we could have some food. We'd be willing to, probably get some food there and, just make it a fun evening for folks to come down and learn more about, all of it together, and we appreciate the opportunity. I think it'd be a great way to, introduce more of the industrial park component to the folks that live in the city here too.
Okay, that sounds good. We have Christie's Smash Burgers online for
great.
the event. And
Okay,
also Pam Pittman from Trails End Kettle Corn.
okay.
The two of them will be participating in the event.
That's wonderful. So, yeah, maybe what we could do is just meet with you, later, next week, or we can just put a time to hear
Sure.
and we can work up kind of like a agenda and a itinerary location, and then we can approach the business from there. And does that work for you too, Elena? Would that be okay?
Yeah, why don't we see if we have 3 or less members who want to form a subcommittee, and then you could meet with John and potentially a couple members of the EDC, and you guys can all work together on like a subcommittee to do the actual
I'd-
planning.
I think that'd be great because I know Eric, at Northwest Technologies, he'd be interested in having part of his business open there so they can come in and learn about welding and opportunities there. So, and he's on one of our subcommittees now, so that could be great. So maybe find 2 or 3, and then I could reach out to our subcommittee and we could just meet out there in the park and discuss it further.
Okay. And
Exciting.
that wouldn't be an issue, Chief, having to meet just a mile that way, dude.
Yeah, we're good with that.
Okay, all right. Matt, go ahead.
I hate to bring it up, it doesn't really affect me directly, but the issue that was brought up about the growing businesses and the terrific odor down in that area with that, I'm sure, I guess at least there's room to get away from that, but I haven't been in there where I've ran into that, other than it was brought up the meeting.
Yeah,
Elena?
I know that our code officer was down there this morning and said that there weren't any odor issues today. It can be a little transitory. Often what happens is a business will open their doors to move something in and out, and then you'll have a waft of odor, and then it'll go away after 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, we'd had a big issue. There had been an illegal grow operation down in the industrial campus, and it's no longer there. And so now that that's gone, we're seeing a lot of dissipation of that odor. So
Okay. All right. So I guess we can do that towards the end of the meeting with the subcommittee, or?
yeah, well, I think one of your next committee items is the goals and responsibilities, and that is looking at your goals list and figure out who wants to work on what. And so that would be a good time to pick who wants to be in the subcommittee.
Okay,
And then I can just connect them to John after the
Okay.
meeting.
okay.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. And I look forward to, working with you, and thank you for this opportunity. I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks for your time, John. I appreciate it.
You guys have a great evening.
Have a good night. All right. So that was good. Moving on to committee business then, to goals and responsibilities. All right. So we want to start with National Night Out then for a subcommittee. Elena, is that all right?
Sure, wherever you want to start.
Okay, so full disclosure, I have no problem being on the subcommittee, but I will be in Oahu on National Night Out with my family. My youngest daughter just graduated. She's a RN. So That's her present for graduation. So I apologize for not being there. But I will be soaking up all the sun that doesn't come to Estacade, and I'll bring it back. Yes, yeah. I have a big suitcase.
I just completed my MBA.
Can we all
Okay.
go?
Yeah.
So who wants to be on the subcommittee?
I don't mind adding my name to the.
Okay.
subcommittee.
So,
Somewhat, yeah,
okay,
that's fine.
so Karina, Shirley, and myself. All right.
Hey, Jim.
Yes, ma'am.
At least one other one, I think, but she's a florist, but
Okay,
she wants to sell flowers there.
okay.
She's a fiance of the guy that owns the Black Mexican trailer. And then I also talked to the guy that owns that, and he told me to get in contact with trailer down at Carver and see if they can come out
Which trailer?
at Carver. And it's a.
Across from the cafe? Okay. All right.
I've
Let's,
been working on it slowly.
okay. Do you have any info? I think Elena put it in the packet there. The
On the dates and stuff.
yeah, but we don't have to worry about that. Goodness gracious, no, I can't find it. The the event booths,
I don't have that, no.
it should be in the packet. It's about halfway through. And I was just wondering if you could reach out to like Valerie at the community center and people on there to see if they're willing to.
Down here.
Come
It's
on.
page 37.
Thank you. Ant Farm, Estacada Cert, NAMI, CTech Youth,
I can reach
PGE.
out- I can Reach out to the farmers that they want to come down, because they have kids that they have a rope thing, where the kids can make rope and stuff.
Mhm. And we had Adult Teen Challenge last year, Oregon Health Authority.
Do we have a list to go by, and then maybe her and I can split?
Yeah, I think I haven't been in contact with Heath. Heath was the one that did this
Okay,
last year, Sedgeburg. Yeah,
okay.
but this is just for the parking lot, so I'm sure it'll be a little bit bigger over there at the industrial park.
Okay,
So we'll just keep that in mind.
okay.
Daughter in the industrial park.
Nice. Nice, I found it.
All right.
Oh, okay. So it's one of these from last year.
So what
What
will
is
the,
the date on that event?
oh, you had to ask me that. It is the
I want to say it's the 5th of August.
5th.
I'm not,
It's Tuesday, right?
yeah, it's the first Tuesday in August. I'm not sure. what-
August 5th.
Okay.
That's correct. Yes. Yeah, I think we're going with about 5 to 8, I believe, PM, like last time. National Night Out. All right. Okay, moving forward to the next one here, and we can just go back and forth with the goals and responsibilities. If you see did that wrong. There we go. The crosswalks and sidewalks in all the school zones. Hopefully some of these pictures came out pretty decent. Obviously, first one on there is the skate park, getting the kids to the other side of the street. After playing there. There's a couple of different ways to do it. Is one over by the bridge or one closer to the marathon station. Of course, go ahead, Counselor.
So that Les Schwab the other day, and I was getting my car fixed, I decided to walk down the river. I was crossing right there, and they put all those trees in. And as I was gonna cross, I could not see the cars until I got out.
Biddle.
Luckily, they couldn't see that, I couldn't see that. So we were not even chopped down, but it was very.
Okay.
And I didn't look by the taco truck there.
Pepes.
There too. just because it's got that turn.
It's got that bend. So we should have the flashing lights there too, right?
Well, that's
Be a
ODOT.
good idea.
Well, I mean, that's great, but my concern is we're taking care of both sides of the
But-
highway and we're planting in the median. Why can't we do the crosswalks?
It-
They're already
it-
designated there.
It's ODOT's property. We can't do something on somebody else's property. However, the trees, if that's an issue, you just report it to Don and he'll see if he can trim them up.
Matt,
I
Uh,
did email you guys all that email, so you can email
Okay.
that to ODOT.
okay, that's right. Thank you.
Oh, that same number is like we were talking, okay.
Yep.
Counselor, Blevin, I'm glad to hear someone else. I thought I was the only one that's complained about street trees. As a professional driver over 40 years, I find like looking, the rash of pedestrians run over hit and runs like in the Portland area and stuff. When I found all these street trees, especially with the rainy weather we have around here, that brings all the branches down and you get someone dressed kind of in dark clothing. They're out there right with these tree trunks, everything's vertical, and you put them in a row or something like that. And you can't see people at all. And people in a higher up off the ground pickup, certainly a dump truck, semi truck, you can't see through all those leaves coming around there. And so it's to me like harrowing sometimes to drive down a boulevard like that. Cause just your sight distance and everything. And I find partly it's my age and wearing the glasses that things aren't as sharp and stuff. And this trees to me, I wish they didn't do any of that really. I know the greenery and the, fresh air and stuff, but
Thank you. All right. And just going over a few more of these, the Eagle Creek Road and Northwest Hill Way and Eagle Creek and Northwest Liberty Lane. Obviously, we have one apartment building built and we're having another one put in. So we're going to need to have crosswalk there to get kids across to go into Campanella to go to school. The kids that are definitely walking. Let's see, Broadway and 10th. We got a couple of stop signs in there. That's good, but just the same old, recommendations. When we were out, what was there, a lot of mud and water? I mean, just they were older. It was a little bit harder. And some at the bottom of the recommendations, they would put down from the safe routes to school from 2017, add a stop sign, flashing beacon. Well, hopefully we're in the process of doing all that on many of these, North Broadway and 6th, right there at Big Jim's. The sidewalks are just very outdated, the ADA access, whatnot, going down to Pierce and 2nd, going down to Clackamas River Elementary. The sidewalks, the crosswalks are just tired and faded, and same thing, we put the safe routes to school from 2017, Northeast Main and 3rd, just going from the corner there of 3rd over to Clackamas River. And let's see. Northeast Shafford, Northeast 6th. That's gonna kind of be tricky, even though some of them have the subdued ADA ramps there. I don't know if it comes out on whatever side of Shafford, the one at the apartment or one at the corner there. Try to get kids across the street there to the high school. Northeast Cemetery, Northeast Hill Way. I know they're working on that. And let's see. The Estacada High School crossing, which I know Matt and Karina and Council Blevins, Carrie were there. There's no ADA access there on the main crossing on either side. And there's a lip on the other side. So there's just, minor things to do. We just want to make sure we have, everything to give Council Blevins to go to council with all this stuff. Anyone else have anything on those intersections?
As I said at the last meeting, we are working through the Thriving Communities Grant to do
Mhm.
some strategic planning on the school zone areas. And so, taking things to council is probably a little premature because we're going to be working with the traffic engineer on probably reevaluating some of those intersections.
Okay. On the safety school zones, when we were talking about the safe routes to school, I did reach out to the deputy director to Safe Routes to School. So she wanted to know if we would be willing to do the walking audit this school year or next year. And I said, next year. I mean, does everyone agree? Would be better. We'd have more time.
I think so. We'd be able to prepare better.
Okay. All right, so. And on that note, on the Safe Routes to School campaign, I found a couple of the cool things for the kids there. And those are pretty cool.
I did. I
Thank
thought
you
that
for
was
putting those in,
great.
Elena.
Mhm.
The ODOT there. We could put those on our part of on the website. I think that'd be pretty cool. What does everyone think?
I think
Yep.
that's a great idea.
Yeah,
It's really
okay.
cute.
All right. Yeah, hey, catchy, right? Okay, and let's see, the streetlights, a couple people had mentioned to me streetlights. Where was it? It was downtown. It was over here by 4th and Main. And, oh, thanks, chief. Have a good night.
Good night, sir.
And I saw this there at City Hall, so I made sure I took a picture. So, and if we could put this on our,
It's on the city's website
is,
already.
okay.
Yep.
so it's got a QR code, so all the grandkids should be able to show us what to do, right? And then the number. So you have the PG&E number of the pole, and then map number, address, pole number, cross street. That should pretty much tell them everything about
So we need to call the city or we need to call PG for that?
right here.
You
Yeah.
get the poll number.
And then you get the pole number and
And then you call
Give 'em
PG,
everything.
right? That's
Yep.
what I've always done in the
Yep.
past, but.
PortlandGeneralElectric.com, street light out. So that's gonna be a little bit better since not burden the city on all that stuff. All right, let's see. Anyone else have anything on streetlights, or I know we have a running list, but
The city should put one of those in the water bill packet for the citizens so they know.
I think that PGE has put them in their electric
Have they in
bills.
there?
Yeah.
I don't recall them being in there.
Yeah. I can reach out to PGE and see if that's something they're interested in promoting in their bills.
so, okay, moving on. We already talked about, National Night Out. We got things moving forward with John. Northwest Technologies, chief's on board. I'm sure the Estacada Fire will be on board there. And we get all the same people we were gonna have over here down there. I think that'll be a good event. Let's see. Anyone else have anything on National Night Out? I know we had a couple things just to, purchase toys for the kids. Maybe bring a couple of sets of cornhole boards, and, we have the pop-ups and tables and cones and police tape for the city. Don has those and some signs. But I think that's about it on National Night Out. Communications, Elena said she put out the street light and the campaign. Excuse me, the Safe Routes to School campaign. And I don't know if there was anything from last meeting or not. I can't remember. I don't remember. That's okay. I'll find it and send it to you. Let's see, traffic safety subcommittee. Does anyone have anything? What's going on in town or anything like that? I forgot to mention something to the chief, but go ahead.
On the new construction, Deuce Road, the very newest stuff right on the road. I came and talked to, I think Elena, a couple days ago when I got my packet. I asked where they cut for some of the infrastructure in the street. It's about 100 yards in a straight line. And if you're going, I'll say basically east towards Mount Hood, on Deuce Road, the cut is such that even a small car, you have to actually be right on the yellow line. Or you're in the cut and your car is, I have a Ford Escape, pretty light car, but it is just all over the place. Or to avoid that, you've got to get in the gravel on the side of the road. And I had, let's see, Don's number of the Public Works, but I didn't get a hold of him. I didn't know if anybody else knew. Of course, the contractor, I'm pretty sure is going to plan to completely repave that. But when that happens, but it's severe, the way it tracks a vehicle like that at the moment. Not to mention every time you have a nice new road and they cut a line across it and bump, kind of a speed bump.
Mhm.
Not such a big deal. This is severe. So I don't know who governs that.
Did you email Don or
No, I didn't. I just
Okay, yeah,
got this
because
yesterday and
yeah, because Don is the person who will reach out to the
He would do that?
contractor.
Okay.
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
As our Public Works Director, he'll reach out to the contractor and he'll be the one to tell them you need to put in more fill or some cold patch there or whatever that is.
so I should call or email.
Yes, email Don.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks. Okay.
But
You'll
you know, to
find it
slow
when you
down,
drive.
slow down rough road, you know.
A rough road.
Yeah.
Okay, does anyone else have anything going on around town or any of your neighbors bring anything up to you?
Thing I have lately is, in the evenings, we have, you come around that corner at, the gas station. There's a couple cars just stop.
Which gas station?
Used to be the Shell station, it's a Marathon or whatever it is.
Up where Sixth Street
On
turns.
Si-
on
Well, where
Wade,
Six
yeah.
comes into Eagle Creek.
Okay.
Road, whatever.
Okay.
Got it.
Mhm.
But, I call it Eagle Creek. But anyway, but that one of them paid the price because there was a hole in the road that Don did fix for me the next day. They hit that and you could just hear that wheel go, quick, so I think he didn't go very fast afterwards. But Don was on it the next day.
Awesome. Excellent, excellent.
I don't teach the rest of the kids that lesson.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I have a couple things other than what we talked about, the speeding, the lights, school safety zone, the Campanella speed humps. I know when I spoke to the gentlemen that were putting them in, they say they were putting in 5 and 3 are on Northeast Hillway.
Hillway, yeah.
Are we gonna put 2 more on the extension?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
Yeah, I know we have some planned for the extension, but I don't know where that's at.
okay. And I was just curious was there an application put in or was that homeowners or?
No, we did that as part of the Hillway project.
Okay, got it. Another question I have, because when you go up to Northeast Shafford, there's a sign for each speed hump, a yellow sign.
They're
Yeah.
not done with the sign.
Okay,
They're
I
not,
was
yeah.
just checking and there's
They're supposed to-
chevrons on the
They're supposed to
humps.
put chevrons on the humps,
then
yeah. This-
bumper hump, okay,
Yep, yep,
Awesome.
that's still in progress.
excellent, thank you.
Yep. No,
Um,
we drove out there and we're like,
No, it's a great job putting them in because you guys can see I was there. You know,
in
early.
progress, yes.
I
Mhm.
mean, half of it.
Yeah.
So I mean, they were doing pretty good. So I mean,
Mhm.
those are,
Yeah.
I was there way
Oh,
early.
wow.
So I did a pretty good job there. Really good job.
Excellent.
And let's see, and okay, so that's good. And just wanted everyone to know that we have people stealing gas up on Northeast Oakview Lane, up by Reagan Hill, and on Northeast Shafford. They're sucking the gas out of the tank. They're not going under and drilling up. So I've spoken to both parties, and I mean, it's not any time's a good time to be doing that, but not during the summer. So I'll email Chief Mendoza or,
No cameras.
Yeah, did they report
no, they
it?
didn't. I asked.
Okay,
No.
I mean, because they should call the non-emergency and,
Yep.
and report that every time that
I think
happens.
one report was
Okay.
made, so. So, and that's all I have, unless anyone has anything.
So I'd like you to go back to your goals and.
Goals, here we go.
Yes, yep.
What
There's
do you
some
need?
things that you guys want to start working on, like your classes. You say you want to have your first one in July. And so you need
Okay.
somebody who's willing to organize that.
Okay,
Starting pretty soon. And we had some people reach out to the city who are interested in delivering classes that you guys would be really interested in. Like one is a 2-week ready class for emergency preparedness. There's a CPR class and they're free. So the sooner we can sign up for this, the better.
okay. Do you have that information?
I
or-
do, and I will pass it along to whoever is going to be
Okay.
the responsible person.
All right, who wants to be on the, I guess, the subcommittee for the classes? Anyone?
I'm a little unsure what my role still is, being new to any of this, the mock-ups and so on. I can read the goal, but unsure what role each and every, or we as a group.
Well, we try to go out and when people tell us about what their neighborhoods or what we had done downtown and across the street and then all the way downtown with all of the safety, the crosswalks and the sidewalks and the ADA, pretty much like we did before you came on the committee.
And that's at the,
That's
nine
not
other-
necessarily the
other
mock-ups. We're just,
that's the mock-up.
yeah, that we would try to go through a bunch of the neighborhoods when we had time.
And door knock?
No,
really, or-
just check out the roads and the crosswalks and sidewalks
I think
Oh,
because of,
for the mock-ups, I think you were talking about doing some wildfire evacuation information, and the county is going to be releasing some educational materials
Okay.
related to that. So I imagine you could connect with the county on their educational classes and maybe organize, in the areas.
okay,
I have a question.
yes,
So are we talking about then, is that the subcommittee for just classes?
yeah, we could, or training or whatever. you
Okay, because
call
I
it.
know that, so what Elaine is speaking about is the like wildfire preparedness
Mhm.
training, right, that the Clackamas is coming out with.
Yeah, and that's going to be about evacuation. That's
Okay.
the classes are like the CPR, the 2 weeks
Yeah.
ready. We had the Oregon State Marine Board reach out about doing a boater safety class, which I thought you guys might be interested in hosting that too, because that aligns with your goals. And so I just need a person to be the point person, reach out to these organizations and then like reserve the room
Oh,
and take the RSVPs.
I wouldn't mind doing that
Okay,
unless someone else wants to step up. No?
Thank
Okay,
you.
Anyone?
I'd sure like to be a helper at least.
The self-defense.
I know you have a lot of experience in organizing stuff, I think,
Yeah.
from you.
But I mean, you have access to self-defense because we're talking about coordinating like self-defense, right? And Matt has connections as well, right? With self-defense. So I think we could, yeah. That's why that you guys go to the same,
We'll do demo.
right? So
but-
I think that definitely would, yeah, I'll be awesome.
good. So we can get him on that.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we just drug him into it.
Okay, good.
I told him it was gonna happen
Okay.
over, told Brian Paris.
Good.
I could be a dummy or something,
Ooh.
Yeah,
practice dummy.
that'd be
how to-
fun. Yeah,
She enjoyed being there. Grabbed on.
well,
I
Good.
hadn't had, but man, she enjoyed kicking. it.
She's getting
Good.
back at you.
Every time I told you to clean your room.
Awesome.
Okay, so I guess I'm the contact point and then we'll
And
get
Matt,
it figured out.
myself, we'll
Yeah.
figure it out. Yeah,
Okay, awesome.
cool. All right. Anything else, Elena, on that?
Do you want to, you also had the neighborhood safety campaign, and we had talked about, I think that one, purchasing signs and helping
Oh.
distribute those through neighborhoods about like, 20 is best, keep it slow. I don't remember what the signs look like. I remember we had put them in a packet or 2 packets ago.
Okay. So we had the signs a couple
Yeah, that-
packets ago.
I don't remember the exact date. I
Okay.
just remember we had included
Okay.
them in a packet at some
Okay.
point in this past year.
Yeah, no, we can, when we find that, I guess I could send it to you and then you can ask everyone, put it out to the email and they can respond to you.
Yeah, because
And then
whoever.
we can
whoever-
purchase after July 1st, so.
Yep, yeah,
Yeah.
purchase after July 1st, and
I
then
don't think we
whoever
need a
wants.
subcommittee on that.
No, you probably want to have like one person to be like the delivery person for signs. So it doesn't need like a whole committee.
That sounds good. Excellent. Email Elena. Okay. Does anyone else have anything? Before I adjourn the meeting?
So just
Karina.
quick question.
Yeah.
So on the neighborhood watch trainings,
Yes.
could you recap what that entails and do we need a subcommittee for that one?
We have a
Or do you already have
officer from Clackamas County,
Okay,
and she came in last year,
okay,
gave us the class. Anyone that wants to do that, and we've had the copies at the tables that we've had. The information's on our website or on our section for our committee. And we've had Campanella neighborhood is the only one that has joined.
okay. So
And
it's like
she
an
came out
outreach.
and she gave the class to them and she gave them the signs and you can see
Okay.
the signs. They put up all
Yeah.
the signs in their neighborhood. So,
Okay, I was just making sure we didn't.
but we do have a point of contact with
Okay.
the sheriff's department.
Okay, great.
Sarah McClurg, I think her name is.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
So
I
if
do
somebody
have a
wanted,
co- I do have a comment about the Escada Fire Department. Was it Friday, Saturday night, we had a fire in Casadero Court. I mean, the houses were, and the fire department was there within 10 minutes. And they took that fire down within an hour. Otherwise, we would have had houses. So I do have a shout out to them.
Mhm. And they had a rescue on that one too, right? There was someone
Oh,
home.
yeah, Kenny, yeah, he was passed out in his bedroom. We thought he was in the living room where the fire actually was.
Right.
But the fireman went through and caught him and carried him out. And stuff, and the other 2 guys went out the windows. But if one of them hadn't came out of the bedroom, they all died.
Right.
But we couldn't hear, what the heck is that noise? I walked out and that house was just full blown.
So there were a lot of vehicles in your cul-de-sac.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
We had
That's good.
we had 4 fire trucks and 2 ambulances there.
good.
So,
Sorry. and then I
That's
just-
okay.
I had one last thing, because Elena had sent out an email to us regarding an event that the Oregon Livestock Council was putting on. She
Yes.
attended a PGE event, correct? And
Yeah.
they were there?
yeah,
Yeah,
I
but-
put it in front of your.
I know, I see the family.
Yeah.
Cute. So she reached out to see if anyone on the committee would like to volunteer to attend their next meeting. And I did volunteer. And since I do have livestock and it's
Mhm.
going to be like emergency preparedness.
Yeah.
For livestock. So I think it'd be very interesting to get that information and then have it out to everyone, right? Yeah. So thank you for
Yeah.
relaying that info.
Yeah, Matthew Blevins and I were there and
Oh, were you?
that, they were by far, I think, the coolest booth
Well.
there. No offense.
Livestock
Elena.
Council, no,
They had
Livestock Council, of course.
They had so much.
Yeah.
I mean, my grandfather was a chicken farmer,
Yeah.
but they're explaining, you have to take a picture with your horse
Yeah.
in case there's chaos when people are picking up your horses.
Yeah.
yeah.
Transporting out of town. Is this your horse? Oh, I have all the pictures right here. I didn't know that.
I think, yeah, I
I
think
had
it's
no clue.
gonna. Well, I was, as you know,
Mm.
we went to the wildfire, that Clackamas was the wildfire preparedness, just kind of like the powwow that they put on, Clackamas County did. And, we relayed the information that the problem was there was only one staging area for people with livestock and that was Clackamas County Fairgrounds. And then that filled up completely like overnight. So not even overnight, it was probably within an hour. So the fact that they're looking at multiple staging areas, correct, Elena, or did
They
they
had
even go over-
multiple on their
Yeah.
sheet at the
Yeah,
junction.
so I think it's going to be an excellent event. So I'm happy to report after. It's June 21st.
Okay.
So
And I can copy, I got a bunch of literature with Council Blevins. I can make sure that we have it here and put it out to the committee too. It was an interesting event.
yeah,
We thought it was going to be the same. You know, there'd be a couple of PG
Just-
reps
yeah,
and then we tell them what's wrong. No, it was just all tables starting with, what was it? The
Forest Service.
Forest Service and then Estacada Fire,
okay.
Clackamas County. And it just kept going all the way around.
Wow,
It was good.
that's
I mean,
good.
they have, what do they have? Cameras up on the cell towers
Yeah.
so they can see when a fire starts, when you're burning on your property.
Good.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
and they can see if it's out of control or not, or,
So we've come a long way then,
oh,
right?
yeah.
That's excellent to hear.
I think we have 3 that way.
Wow.
So for that
See, I
reason,
think that's something that, yeah, the community would like to hear about because as we
Definitely.
know, once it gets dry, we're all like on edge.
Right.
Since that happened.
And if there's a burn ban.
Mm-hmm.
We
Good.
should send up
Yeah.
a drone too and be watching it that way.
definitely.
Cause you can get a lot of places where the cameras can't see.
Right. All right.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I just had to share
That's
that
okay.
because I had to slip
Nope,
that in because
that's
Elena did that hard work
Yes.
too.
All right. Does anyone else have anything? No? Anyone? No? Lady, all set?
I'm good.
All right. All right. We'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everyone.
You.
Yeah.